How's everybody doing? My name is Jason Pittman, aka Captain Knuckles on Instagram. You know, welcome to my channel. I just got started with doing this whole YouTube thing, so bear with me. I'm still working out the kinks. As you can tell, it's in very hot and sweaty South Florida. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get this started. The original plan for my car was to actually sell this. I was planning on selling this car, and the reason why is because I really wanted to get into an M3. But you know, the problem with these cars is that they're just so dang hard to get rid of, and not because they're hard to sell, because in some cases they are, but in other cases it's hard to find something that really meets and ticks all the boxes that this car does. Fun factor, smiles, looks, uniqueness. You know, it's very hard to duplicate stuff on these cars. Excuse the sirens. You know, you're very rarely going to find two that look exactly the same. When I was looking into M3s and things like that, same wide body kits, the same exhausts, just the same everything. And me, I'm all about uniqueness. I mean, I came from a Tiburon, and if anybody knows the Tiburons from Hyundai, front wheel drive sports car. So you can imagine what that was like, but it was unique, especially a good clean one that wasn't filled with rust, you know, but that's besides the point. With this, I've done a lot of work to it. I've done everything short of a big turbo, and that's it actually, just a big turbo, cams, big turbo and cams. Right now this car is sitting at, I'd have to say, with the dyno, I'm looking at about 210, 215 to the wheels. That is a rough estimate though, because these cars don't like dynos. Unless you can find a four-wheel drive one that actually has a small enough wheelbase to actually run them, you're most likely going to run into an issue where even with your electronic stability control off, your ABS off, everything off, all safety systems off, it's still going to limit your throttle response, and that's just going to make things difficult for the computer to read and stuff like that. And when I got it dynoed actually, and I will post videos of my dyno that I did a couple months back, which was about just before I got really deep into this, you can see you can hear the throttle body close. But yeah, at that time I was missing a few mods that I have now. I was at 193 to the wheels, horsepower, and 230 wheel torque. And on a car that weighs 2,600 pounds ish, it's pretty peppy. It's pretty quick. You know, don't try racing anybody from a dig or nothing like that. These cars aren't meant for that. These cars are just, if you're gonna race somebody, roll race. Roll race is just the best way to go, because boost kicks on like that on these things. Right now this car is pushing about 26 pounds, and that's normally around nighttime, because during the day I'd be lucky to get 24, 23, and that's just because of the humidity from South Florida and things like that. But as far as the mods with this car, I have a front mount intercooler from Euro Compulsion. I've got a lot of mixed match stuff on here, but for the most part my stuff comes either from two companies. Speed Motive, shout out to Lorenzo over at Speed Motive, funny guy, you should follow him on Facebook, Speed Motive, Lorenzo Abarth. And also Euro Compulsion, also great guys. Actually my first mods actually were coming from them, and Chris Can and his guys, really good people. But yeah, so back to the mods. So I have Euro Compulsion front mount. I have the Turbo Smart wastegate, and actually, let me go ahead and show you. Let's go ahead. Now this car is a rebuilt title, which I was perfectly okay with getting. I got this car for a steal with the rebuilt title, so I'm perfectly okay with that. Let's see. So, as you can see, we've got Turbo Smart Wastegate. We got Alfa Romeo 4C coils. This is a Euro Compulsion V4 intake. I have a mini battery. It's a lightweight battery, such and such. It shaves probably about 15 pounds off the whole weight of the vehicle. I also have an ADD W1 catch can with a dipstick. Honestly, that's the best choice because I'm not a fan of the ones where you gotta pull it out and twist it open just to see what's in it. These lights were not factory. Actually, they're a factory option, but they did not come factory with this car. As you can tell, I'm more of a hodgepodge type guy. I buy things separately, you know, bits and pieces, and I put it together, and then things just work out. Also, another good option, these strut mounts. These actually don't come with the car. I'd recommend it, especially with how hot this hood can get. What else? I've got a boost leak fix. I've got, which is just a little mod. It's actually a really cheap mod, but it takes away the factory boost leak that they install in the car from Fiat. I don't know why they do that. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with over boosting and things like that, but the details I really don't know. What else? Oh, I have a atmospheric dump. So it sounds really good. You kind of can get the same sound from an open air filter, but since I have a closed air filter, the open air dump was the best option. I got that from Forge. Most of these parts, like I said, I did go to either eurocompulsion.com or I went to speedmotive.com and I bought the parts from there. Honestly, if budget is your thing, and these cars are really good cars to build on a budget, because you can get a decent amount of fun without spending a lot of money actually. What else? I've got other little odds and ends here and there. For the most part, the wheels are extra. I got the wheels. Spoiler, actually I got this from 500 Speed Lab. I've had people actually interested in this spoiler, and I tell them all the time, 500 Speed Lab is the way to go. The exhaust. I did not go with a factory exhaust and these cars sound great from the factory. I mean, as everybody who's ever did any research on these cars know, that I believe it may be a myth. I think it's true, but I believe Ferrari engineers actually engineered the exhaust on these cars, which for 4-cylinders, they sound amazing. But I can go ahead and give you guys a startup, let you see. The whole reason why I'm actually out here in the middle of this parking lot for this abandoned building is actually because I was installing a tune update. I've actually been running, and that's the whole reason why I'm able to get the power numbers that I'm getting. There are other great options out there. For those who are interested in the chip boxes, I would honestly recommend that you don't go with the chip boxes because they can get kind of wonky, especially if you live in hot or cold climates. They're great for if you still have a warranty and you want to take your warranty off. I mean, if you want to take your car in for warranty, they're great. You can take them off, put them back on. Nobody will ever be the wiser. But when I first got this car, I actually got a tune box, and it was nice until I really wanted to get power out of the car, and that actually caused me to just almost detonate the whole motor. Actually, it was a big fiasco, and I actually got a nickname from that I will not discuss, but because I was rolling with a bunch of other Abarths going to a Cars and Coffee here in West Palm Beach. But yeah, for the most part, other odds and end mods, I believe I have an MPX ported throttle body. Some people say it doesn't do much, other people say it do. Honestly, the choice is yours. I like it because For the most part, it's held up compared to other people who run the stock throttle bodies. Um, but that's here nor there. Everybody's experience is going to be different. I also have a Craven Speed um, spacer, throttle body spacer. Yes, a Craven Speed throttle body spacer, which is it's good for if you're looking to run any type of, let's just say, if you're one of those people, if you're trying to run nitrous, um, anything, meth, water meth. Uh, Run a boost gauge through it. You can also do that as well. Actually, that is what I'm doing currently. I was going to run a AEM water meth kit through my car. Things didn't work out. I didn't want to go through the headache of trying to wire it all up, so I sold it and I used the spacer as my port for my boost gauge. There are other ways you can use your boost gauge port, but for the most part, they are kind of the same. Um, but yeah, going back to the tune is your Compulsion Phase 2 tune. There's a few mods that you have to do before you can get a tune like that. I suggest anybody who's looking to stay relatively stock but get a little bit more oomph out of their car, go with Phase 0. Or again, like I said, look up Speed Motive. They actually have some great options as well. From there, you can, and both these companies, Euro Compulsion and Speed Motive, have gradual raises in their power. So, you don't have to look at one over the other. I'd say just compare your options, compare your prices. Everybody's different. I just so happened to get my tune before the Speed Motive tunes came out, which I've been hearing good things about those as well, especially with their ability to remove and put them back on and things like that. There are some iffy companies out there, but if you want to know about those, I don't want to bash no other companies. If you want to know about any type of reviews on any companies, I say check out Facebook groups, check out forums, check out just Instagram. Just check out your social media, especially your forums. Your forums are going to tell you the most information. Facebook can also tell you a lot, because actually the owners of a lot of the companies that I'm talking about are actually part of a lot of Facebook groups. For instance, you have Abarth chat on Facebook. You have there's fiattech.com. That's an actual Facebook tag as well as a forum, an independent forum. What else? There's a couple others. A lot of those guys who run those forums, they've been around since this car came to North America, and great sources of information. Great guys, very funny. It's always a show on that social media. But yeah, for the most part, right now, what I'm doing is because I have a custom exhaust, which after all this, I will let you guys hear and get an idea of what it is. I have a custom exhaust, catless downpipe, straight back, no cats, no nothing. About a 12-inch resonator, about halfway back, and then leading to two 4-inch tips. I used to run this with a tune from EC, Euro Compulsion, called Pops and Bangs. If you're one of those guys who loves to be the loudest one, make the most noise, keep up with the V8s and the V6s and how loud you can be, go with the Pops and Bangs tune from EC. I'm telling you, I had that on my car, and when we installed it, I was down in Miami, and it legitimately sounded like gunshots, and not like pew pew, more like bang bang, boom boom. And I just couldn't do it. Not here in South Florida. Everybody's got an itchy trigger finger. Certain neighborhoods you don't want to be driving through making all that popping and banging noises. So I actually took that off for a couple of months until they came out with something. It's kind of like launch control. And it was an update actually to the Phase 2, and I believe you can get it with Phase 1 and Phase 0, which again, like I said, EC provides gradual tunes depending on your mods, just like Speed Motive does. And This one I actually got it with launch control, so I can set it to where whenever I press the sport button, the car actually will rev up to a certain RPM that I have determined to be the best range, which is an overall consensus. Really, relatively is about 4,000 to 4,200 RPM, and I can launch. That's the best way to put it. They also had another option where instead of pops and bangs, you can get gurgles, and that is actually the tune that I just finished installing for the past about 15 to 20 minutes since I've been out here, is gurgles. And this is gonna be my first time hearing gurgles on my car. I don't know what to expect. Who knows? We'll see, and we'll go from there. So I guess bear with me. All right. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, I actually like that a lot. My pulley doesn't like that, but I like it a lot. That sounded good. That sounded damn good. Well, I hope you guys enjoy this. Since I am going to be keeping the car, I'm actually going to start doing more YouTube videos of the car and what it's like, what I like about it, what I don't like about it. And this is coming from somebody with a rebuilt one, so I'm going to be extremely honest, because this car is missing some bits and pieces that your car from the normal place, your normal off the lot would have. But for the most part, thank you for joining me. And again, like I said, like, subscribe. I'm gonna start being more active with my YouTube. And again, just stay cool.